Ready?
For what?
This drink that we're drinking.
What is it? You can do it.
No, you say it.
Zacapa?
We have the glasses on. Come on.
You read it.
Ron Zacapa. I don't know if that's Spanish or not. Look here. This is what it says.
Zacapa.
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 Zacapa. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Well, pour it.
Oh wait, we've got these really cute little vintage glasses.
Where are the one up there?
Up there.
Hold up. You pour.
Okay.
Okay. Oh Jesus.
It's 9 o'clock somewhere.
There. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's touch. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast of Rhythm and Blues with Mikey and Nikki. Did I say blues?
You said blues.
God damn it, I've already been drinking. You say it then.
This is starting out great already, as usual. Welcome to Rhythm and Booze.
Because we're drinking.
Because we're drinking. And it's noon. It's yeah.
Yeah,
It's
this is a podcast where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. Most about dancing, whether it be worlds of burlesque, worlds of Lindy Hop and swing, the worlds of roller skating, photography, whatever thing we happen to be in this week. And we talk about how they intersect, and especially due to the times of COVID-19, the rampant ex-boyfriend that won't go away, we've all pivoted to sort of different things, and we want to talk to other creatives and see what everybody's been up to.
Yeah, and we have another special guest this time too,
Yeah.
which this is our second guest we've had, and this is our 5th episode.
I can't believe it's our 5th episode already.
I know.
This is so weird. It feels like we just started a minute ago. Well, we did.
We did.
But what we've been doing this last 2 weeks have been like so weird because I feel like we've done a shit ton of things, but at the same time, it's like not been dance related.
Yeah, well, we've done a lot, but at the same time, right before we started, we were talking about it. We're like, well, what did we do the past 2 weeks? What exactly did we do? I don't remember.
Well, you've been doing a shit ton of photography.
I have.
Which is super cool.
Yeah.
And if you haven't checked it out, you should go watch us on Instagram, watch our Facebook feed, and that's all we do now.
It's really fun. It's, I've done a lot of modeling for a long time, and it's really, really fun to be on the other side of the camera, and I'm learning so much, especially when I work with dancers, performers, or models.
Yeah.
Who I learned so much from, and I have so many photographer friends and photographers that I've worked with that are like giving me encouragement and great feedback. And I don't have any goal. Like, people keep asking, what's the plan? Like, what's the goal with photography? I don't have one.
To snap good pictures.
It's just for myself
Right.
at this point. I don't think that we always have to turn our hobbies into our job.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be a money-making venture, but it is a really fun artistic venture, especially when dancing is so limited.
It's a couple things that, like, to go off that, I'm feeling like, yeah, you don't have to turn it into like monetization necessarily, but I think it's actually been a good use of our time. Like, a lot of people like can't go back to the work or the thing that makes them brings them a lot of joy. So we've been finding new ways to use all that energy, so we're not at home being anxious ridden and like nervous and just like watching another Netflix, watching West Wing for the 4th time.
Yeah.
I just started.
Oh, no.
I just started again. It's my 4th time watching West Wing. And
Your 2nd time Breaking Bad.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's really cool because I've noticed how much I think we all are this way a little bit, in the sense of looking at ourselves in pictures and being like, oh, I wish I put my arm like this, or like, oh, my hair wasn't that good that day, or like the sun didn't, whatever. Like any little sort of critique or thing you notice. Like, I know you. You do that.
Yes.
To some limit that is maybe a little higher than others, but it's a high bar. But at the same time, you're using those things that you've built up over time for behind the camera now, and then doing them. And everything you've ever said to me about photography or being a model in general, I get to see in these photos, and it's super, super cool.
Yeah, I am hypercritical of myself and
She said.
everyone. My pictures from every photo shoot ever. And I think most of us are. We always zero in on the things we don't like, but I'm trying really hard to focus on the things I do like.
Exactly.
And the things that I'm seeing from models that inspire me. And that's been so rewarding and fun.
If you could give one little piece of advice to somebody just like starting out, or like
a photographer?
Yeah, like just like,
oh, well, I'm so new myself that I don't know that I have any like groundbreaking advice for anybody, but I think that it's not always your subject that needs to change. It's sometimes you that needs to change. You need to find, where the light works for making your subject the best they can be.
Right.
You know what I mean? So sometimes it's not that they need to change their position, it's that you have to change your angle, or you have to change, where the light is coming from to make the big difference. And that has been challenging and fun.
I think the only thing I would add to that, in the sense of photography from my point of view, is like, get a damn camera and start shooting.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's how you learn. You learn by doing, and you can watch all the videos and read all the books, but at the same time, you really just have to have the camera in your hand and you have to play. And Mikey's a great photography assistant.
I hold all the things.
He carries everything.
And I take behind the scenes photos. It's great. But after a long day of shooting, people can think we drink too much, and we really don't. It's just compacted into smaller areas.
It just seems like it.
Because we went to a bar the other night, but it was a cocktail bar that just opened.
It was our first bar indoors in a long time, and it's this little speakeasy
called the Blind Rabbit,
and it's in Anaheim at the Packing House.
Yeah,
it's kind of underground. You enter through a fake. You enter through a bookshelf.
Yeah,
and it doesn't look like much, but you go inside and it's this tiny little craft cocktail bar, and it's amazing.
It's the size of like a studio apartment, basically, or your bedroom.
It's like the size of from here to this.
Yeah. And we went there, and it was so awesome. Everyone was COVID restrictions, and they had plexiglass in places and everything. And us being fully vaccinated now, we felt comfortable going to this bar, and it was a 90-minute limit. And we went there, had a couple drinks, and oh my God, can't suggest it enough. If you are feeling up to it, we highly suggest you hit up your favorite cocktail bar again.
Yeah, and if you're in Orange County, definitely head over to Blind Rabbit. Blind Rabbit, right? Yeah.
Blind Rabbit.
Blind Rabbit.
Blind Rabbit. And the last thing we're going to talk about today is that Orange County will be hopefully in the next tier, which is the orange tier.
By next week.
Yes, exactly. And that should set us up to open up a ton ballroom finally for full group classes. We don't know exactly what that means, but at the same time, we're like getting ready for all this stuff.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what that means, because we don't necessarily feel the need to come back to what normal used to be. So we're trying to come back to this new normal and try to do things better and in a more progressive, inclusive way.
Yeah. And also adhering to CDC guidelines and telling what the science is telling us, and we're gonna do our best. And it's really funny because we're like talking a lot about dancing, and dancing has moved lower in the list for now, which is a change up, because I feel like before we had to do that, and it's like, no, I don't want to do it. And like I felt always like I want to dance. Right now I still have that feeling, but I'm like, just not right now. It's okay. Just wait.
We're getting ready for the Renaissance.
Yeah.
The artistic Renaissance and the dance Renaissance and all of these things that hopefully are going to come back.
Yeah. And on that matter too of dancing, especially in the Lindy Hop world, or swing dancing in general, I think it's no longer just this like isolated thing of it. It's worldwide. All the dance events, all the festivals, all the workshops, and just awesome, amazing live music is just going to have a renaissance. And I hope that with our guests today, we'll be able to jump into what that world might look like, or what we hope it might look like. So we're going to jump into that now with our special guest, World Champion Boogie Woogie dancer, Lindy Hopper, DJ, event producer, and father to Pearl, the multi-talented Mr. Remy Kouakou Kouame.
Hey.
Hey, Remy.
Hey. Hello.
How are
Good
you?
to see you as well. I'm great.
Yeah. Where are you right now?
I'm home. I'm in my little studio, like my room, I would say, my room.
And what are you doing?
I'm drinking rum.
Oh, what kind of rum? We're drinking a rum too, but you got to say it.
No. The kappa.
Zacapa. I mean, I have two, so eventually I'm gonna have a little rum tasting tonight.
It looks like one's called Plantation, one is called Zaca.
So Zaca from Panama,
okay,
and Plantation from Barbados.
Oh, nice.
And, I have started with the Zaca one.
You know what that? You know what it just reminded me of?
No.
That one time you took me to a club in Montpellier, and we went and you gave me rum and coke, and then you like watched me as I drank it, and I was like, "Why are you watching me?" And I drank it, and I was like, "Oh!" And it was African rum or West African rum.
Yeah, I think it was West Indies. West Indies rum, no?
So bad. That was probably the worst drink I've ever had, and I finished it so fast. I was like,
Yeah, because we have to go like if you mix the rum, they're gonna give you shitty one. So if you wanna have a rum and coke, you're gonna have the shittiest one of the club. But if you really want to drink rum, then we talk.
Yeah. That's true. So because of all the things that are happening right now, like we got to be on Zoom, and we're all kind of used to it now, which is super fun.
Yeah, but we have a lot of listeners that are actually in all different communities, so we don't want to assume that Lindy Hoppers are watching right now or listening right now. So Remy,
I mean, don't worry. Like everybody knows me, even in the roller skating world. Like I'm a superstar, even in photography. I'm kidding, obviously.
That way, we know you're that way. But where are you in the world?
I am in Montpellier, south of France, born and raised, and I'm still like I'm not living in Montpellier. I'm in a little small city close to Montpellier called Mogio, and this is where I was based before the pandemic, and this is where I get to spend the last year without traveling, and I feel really fortunate about it.
You haven't traveled anywhere outside of?
I did. I haven't traveled for work.
Oh, cool.
But
where
I went. What?
Where did you go?
We went to Corsica. Like we had like that summer break, I would say, where things got a little bit open. Yeah. So we took we flew to Corsica, so by plane, which was really interesting. I was like, curious about how it would have been. But it happened eventually. So we went to Corsica, and then I went to visit, weekends, to visit friends here and there, Lyon, and
that's nice.
Yeah, not much, but a little bit.
That's what we find. A lot of people that we know, especially like people who used to travel a lot, especially for work, have traveled a little bit, and it is very definitely like jarring at first, but then you kind of become accustomed to a little bit. And then every place has its own little thing, own little restrictions. So then some people have done a little bit more, some people a little bit less, and some people have not done anything. So it's really interesting to talk about that as well.
How are things in Montpellier? Are you on lockdown still? Are things more open?
No, we have a curfew.
Oh yeah.
So it was 6 p.m. until last week, and we have now 7 p.m. as the limit, the curfew. But the thing is like France in general has started the vaccination thing, but it's really messy. I don't know if you guys hear about it abroad, but the thing that is really worrying in a way is that some how do you call that? Like some zone, like some departments in France, some we call it departments. I don't know if it's the same, but they are in lockdown. They went back to lockdown. So we are not in lockdown, but we all kind of expect that it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, because this is how it started the first time and the second time. And so we still have things like no restaurants, no bars, no all of this, but we have shops that are still open. The big commercial centers, more than a certain superficie, are closed, but they are now open because there is a lot of whatever. But so we still have kind of a life, but with a lot of restriction. But we kind of, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I think we're going to be in lockdown soon again.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. That's crazy because like things are opening up. I know you heard our intro. Things are opening up for us right now. Yeah. We went to a cocktail bar the other day. It's really interesting to be an American this past year or in the United States because we felt internally that we were handling it not in the best way.
Yeah.
And then all the way through winter, and then all of a sudden things started to change, and vaccines started to come out, and people started to go out again, and all the levels started to go down, and now we're seeing the rest of the world have it harder. So it's really
Joe Biden.
Yeah. Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah. Cheers, Biden. I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Didn't want to say it, but he
Uncle Joe. But when was the last time you've been to a bar?
Woo! Well, actually in Corsica, because this is because during the summer they have like on the beach things open, and actually it's funny, they had like a nightclub it was the only nightclub all around France that was open. We don't know how that could have been possible. I haven't been in there, but I know it was open. So yeah, in Corsica we had the luxury to drink a little bit. But yeah, no, that's it's weird because it's starting to become like another type of life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really
like being at home, or the
no, just like thinking about like what it is like to be in a bar and to be with friends and drinks, and like, you know, it's it's weird. Like we were playing like Trivial Pursuit, trivia, and there was like a question with like about bowling, and I was like, oh, actually, I miss this, you know. Like I miss going to places to do some sort of activities, you know. And sometimes when it got me, I'm like a little nostalgic about it.
Did you say bowling or bowling?
I might have said bowling, right? Yeah.
like big balling, like I'm a big baller, shot caller. But I was like, I'm pretty sure he means bowling.
But you know me, right? Yeah. You know.
To be fair,
still French.
Yeah, still French. But to be fair, we've said the same thing, or I know I've said it. I was like, I want to go bowling. Like, oh my God, I miss doing things like that.
Miniature golf.
Or miniature, like anything.
Do you have that in France, miniature golf?
Yeah. You want to do that? I mean, okay. No, we said all miniature golf. You said that, Nikki. Come on, don't escape that one.
Well, there's those things that you just miss because you can't go. You know?
Well, I mean, not that one. I mean, I'm happy to go with my daughter.
Well, I would love exactly.
Yeah. But it is not something like, I miss doing miniature golf.
But I would love to take my kids to play. But
yeah, sure.
As soon as that option is not there, you're like, damn it.
For sure.
Anything
now,
like going to the movies.
Yeah.
Like movies are about to open up for us here, or they have, or they just started. Yeah, they just started, and so slowly movie companies are like, okay, now we're gonna release this one, and I'm like, what is that even like? Popcorn again, like all those little things that like were for granted before.
You'll have to take down the mask and eat popcorn and put the mask back on.
I'm just gonna put the popcorn in the mask and then close it.
I think they're gonna release like a popcorn mask.
Yeah. It's like what they put in horses.
Genius.
They put for horses. They
exactly.
They keep eating.
Or you have like something like dropping.
Yeah. That's gonna be the best thing ever for sure. And being at home in general, like I know it comes with like new lifestyle choices in the sense of like homeschooling. Did you do the homeschooling? I know Nikki did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did for about, I think, we talked about it actually the other day. I think it was for about 3 or 4 months, because even when she eventually restarted, so I have a daughter, because also I don't take for granted that people know, I have a daughter, 8 years old daughter. And when school stopped, she stayed home. I think she had like until May, no school at all. And then she went only for half a day per week. So that was pretty nothing. And eventually by June, she went there for a day and then 2 days. By the end of June, she went back for the week. But so we spent like 3 or 4 months doing the homeschooling thing. And I won't lie, like I don't know how to say that, because like this is something I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed it. I think the thing is like at first I tried to recall everything because it's a year ago now. But when everything happened, I was kind of happy, because I was like, it's like I took it as a break, as a pause of my crazy life. So for the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I really felt like vacation, like being in vacation.
Yeah.
But then I quickly realized, even within the 2 first weeks, I realized that we needed to have like a routine or something, like being disciplined, because it would be too easy to have the day goes by like this or get bored, or you know. So we, with my daughter on Illustrator, we design like a little like board. I don't know, like in French it's like mode d'emploi, or I don't know, like rules. Yeah, exactly. Like shut up, Mikey, shut up. So we had like we had like all of the thing that to do, the thing that we had to do every day. So which was like when we wake up, we had to do the bed, make the bed, take the breakfast, get to like shower straight after, because it's so easy to stay in pajamas or shower straight after the breakfast. And then we had like the homeworks. So we had like, I think a day, an hour or two dedicated to homeworks. And then we had like different category, and one was like learning a new thing. The other one was like something was about art. The other thing was about discovery. The other thing was about playing. I mean, it was all about playing, but I tried to do different category for her. And so we were picking different things, different subjects within each category. So we were not bored at all. Like we really enjoyed it. And we did a lot of things that it would have took too much time to set them up. Like she started to DJ, to learn how to play flute. We did like craft. How do you say carton?
Like arts and crafts.
Yeah, craft board, you know, cut board. I don't know how it's called in English.
Yeah.
But we did like different things. Yeah, art crafts, video games. Like, you know, we had like our time set throughout these little rules that we had.
Yeah, it
That was fun.
really enjoyed it though. Like
I really enjoyed it. This is it. I really, really enjoyed it, because I felt, I don't know if I said to you, if I said it to you, Mikey, but I really felt like, you know, sometimes like you have people that take like a sabbatical year and they do travel the world, and so they do the school on the road with their kids. This is how I felt, but being home. This is how I felt with my daughter for I would say the first 2 months, 3 months, first 2 months easily. Eventually, then it started to be like, okay, I need to do something for myself as well, because I was dedicated with her mainly, and also my school, because this is the thing that I know we're going to talk about that soon, but as soon as the pandemic hit it, like when we get hit by it and we couldn't do any classes, I jumped after the first 2 weeks. We produced 7 or 8 videos a week for my students back home. So we pre-recorded them, and so I had like the editing to do. So that was kind of heavy, which was fun. Again, that was fun for the first 2 weeks, but then it was a real job.
Yeah.
Then it was starting to get boring, and we did that from March till June. So this plus my daughter was
my job all over.
Exactly. My day was filled up like this.
pretty much exactly how it was for me too, you know, with having Atomic and having Atomic shut down, and then having to I have 2 kids, so 2 kids, full-time school. But with my son is 8. So for him, I just saw him improve so much, having that one-on-one time and being home in that situation. And now he's back in school full time, and my daughter goes 2 days a week, and she's on online the other days. But now I'm seeing how much better my son did with the homeschool than he does, because he's very shy in in actual school. So I'm kind of leaning towards, well, maybe, I know that I'm going to get a lot busier, but I think that I'm kind of considering that too. Like, well, maybe I'm going to continue this homeschool thing because it's working really well for him.
I think it's fine. Like it's not like you handling a lot of things already, Nikki. Like you have room in your life. I think you can have that on your pile. Exactly. Yeah. I think you can easily find a place for that. No, I mean, I hear you. For me, the thing is like, I think it's funny because sometimes I heard like other parents from class friends, like room whatever. Classmates, and they were like, "Oh, we dedicate like 4 hours, like because there is a program, right?" And when I was hearing like they were doing like 2 or 3 hours in the morning, 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon, And this is where you realize that, oh, I have an easy kid, because like in an hour or two, we do, like the thing is done. And what I like is about pacing it. Like we could like do a big chunk, because we had like the homework for the week. So we could do them in like, I try to do them every a little bit of every day, but like if we do them in 2 times 2 hours, then it's done.
Exactly.
And the rest for me is like all of the rest, like learn to DJ or learn how to play flute or doing like craft. This is cool for me. This is like life.
Yeah.
That's the thing with like, even before we talked about this like the other day as well, Nikki was saying that same thing. It's like, if you could get your class and stuff, like the normal stuff done in one day that you would normally take 2 or 3 days, then you have 2 days where you don't necessarily have to do schoolwork, but you could do this like cool
Life school
activity.
Yeah.
Like go out and ride horses, or like go out and DJ, or go out and play jump. You put Anjali in some horse classes.
I did.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
She wanted to.
Yeah,
she wanted to ride horses.
I'm just saying. Train
Oh, but that's cool.
Train them to be a horse.
Why not?
Why not?
I kind of have that mindset, and I'm sure you're probably the same way. Like, I want to give my kids every opportunity to follow whatever passions move them, because that's how I live my life.
Yeah.
And I don't want to stop them from anything. If one day my daughter is like, I want to sing and play guitar, I'm like, cool, let's get you those classes. Let's do that. And that's how I see the world myself. And I think, artistic types are that way in general. We want to do things creatively and artistically and based on inspiration, and we want to give that to our kids as well.
And I think this brings me into like something that we didn't talk about earlier, but the dance video that we all did together for Lizzy and the Triggermen that you and Pearl did. And I remember us talking, that was super early pandemic. And we were talking about that and how she's into TikTok or like Instagram and wants to make videos to try to get popular and all that stuff. And that aside, but like, I think it's like you two working together that you had always told me when she was a little itty bitty baby, and she would like, I want to be your partner. That way I can travel the world with you and dance with you. And then watching you guys dance, I was like, yes, it's happening.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a music video that we did early pandemic called Dance Song for the End of the World with Lizzy and the Triggermen. You can find it on YouTube, and we'll put a link in the comments.
Totally.
But Remy and his daughter danced in that video, and it featured dancers from all over the world just dancing in their homes in quarantine to this song. It
was so cool. It was so cool to see all of the people come up with very awesome artistic cool things to do at home. And definitely I remember you sending me the early one, and I was like, oh my god, this is so good.
It's really it was fun. It's funny that because I wasn't ready for that one, and now I'm reminiscing everything. And no, that was really, really good. And this is it. That was exactly, it just happened when we were the two of us all day long together. So I remember when you guys contacted me, I think I was about to pass, because this is something I didn't feel like the project, I didn't sense it. And then being with my daughter, like 24 hours, I was like, I don't know if I have the time for it. So like, I was a little bit of a shame, because Mikey, that I don't want to expose her neither.
Right.
But then I took it as an activity that we could put on our board. Like, okay, let's like run through, let's practice for doing a video clip. And so when I asked, like, is it possible to do it with her? Then we took it as a daily activity. So during the day, we like prep our sequences, and then we shoot it at night. And the funny thing is, like, I think the day after or 2 days after, I realized that it wasn't different than working with my partners.
Yeah.
Like, I realized that after.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of took it for granted. Like, when I learned her, like, when I told her to do the swivels, like, try to get a little counterbalance, like, I need your weight to be back and twist that way, and she was like doing it. Or she also like had ideas, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. We did the all day, blah, blah, blah. And the next day I was like, shit, like, wow, I didn't like, she might be even more like, like take
better than you.
Like she take responsibility, like she take initiatives, which sometimes is hard. Like sometimes you have partners that are a little more shy, but for her she doesn't care. Obviously, she like, if she has an idea, she said, I want to do that.
Well, that was the thing that we were talking about before, and like, and you were struggling in the time that around that same time with whether you wanted to let her do any sort of video for social media.
Yeah.
And then I put that over to you because you were already thinking that. I was like, put it on her. Make her come up with the idea. Make her come up with whatever sound and whatever choreography you want to do. And that way, it's a project for both of you. But she's got to take the initiative to do it.
For sure.
So that's.
I think the funny thing is like I'm still not there. Like she's still asking a little bit. Like she's watching TikTok and stuff. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I'm not there. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. First, maybe I'm not ready to make sure that I'm keeping the Kouakou Kouame name on my own first. But no, I don't know. I think it's too early.
Yeah, you're afraid she's gonna.
Exactly.
Feel the spotlight.
Seriously, with IHC, like this year we had like this competition. I received much more messages for her than for me, which again, like I'm really, really proud and happy. But
there's
like,
only one king of the mountain. Right?
Exactly. Give me 5 years. Come on.
I feel you.
Not ready.
I feel you. That with all that kind of talking about social media and whatnot, and you talked about your school like doing so much early pandemic pre-records. Like, did you guys do any live streaming as well for the school?
No. And the funny thing is, like, we kept it private. Like, I didn't like the students that were already that were already in the school. Like, it was throughout emails. We didn't put anything on social media, Facebook. We didn't do anything. I started Zoom actually for my kids' classes because for the pre-recording was okay for the adults, but for the kids. Like when I had a little survey, the parents was like, it's hard, like being alone. So I started Zoom because of my kids' classes only, but that was really separate, really detached from social media. It was something that we did for the students only, and that was a lot of work.
For sure. And I know you've done also a lot other live stream classes, like the stuff you did with Jazza 4.
I know, we see you all over the world too.
I know, yeah. But this is it. I think it took me first. I was busy or enjoying my road trip with my daughter for the first 3 months. And I think I tried to record everything. But because people were contacting me like, do you want to teach online? And I was kind of like, no. When I saw everybody doing it, and I wasn't ready to jump on that. I was doing it with my school. I was okay. It was enough for me. Then eventually I get contacted for Move Together, the panel discussion that we had. I think it was July. And
it was July, June or July.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was July. And actually, like, they were like they wanted to produce it the best way possible. So then we started to talk about like ring lights and microphone and stuff. And for me, I was like, whoa, easy. Like my microphone my computer has a microphone and I have lights at home. It's fine, But and so trying to prep that like made me jump into something a little different, like thinking about it differently. Right. And eventually we had this is how it all started for me. I was supposed to be in London to do a weekend workshop with Sky. Right. And we tried it, we kept the registration open until the last minute because London was supposed to I could have been able to travel there and to have like a small group, like we thought about all of the distanciation and stuff. Okay. So we like Sky was about to buy different things we got discovered to do in-person class within the limitation that we had. But last minute I couldn't travel. Like I couldn't go because the borders like closed. I would say 6 days before I was supposed to leave. Oh. So I even thought about going because when they said like, okay, border between France and the UK closed and it's gonna be operational, it was a Friday or Thursday and it's gonna be operational on Saturday 6 a.m. So on Friday, I was thinking about traveling there to stay a week. But then I was like, no, imagine I stayed locked there. In there.
You know what's funny with that? The same thing is when Inspiration Weekend was right before they called the pandemic and Felix and Pamela were here.
Yeah.
We were like, I think we're going to be stuck here. They almost were.
This is it. So you never know. And the thing is like, the thing being like a little weird what we did, so I think from the beginning of August or even end of July, we thought about doing the in-person event,
Right.
but doing also, because we would have been together in the same room. So if we couldn't have students, we would do like a class, like a live stream. So we were talking about like making sure about the room that we had booked, if the signal was good there. So, but everything was planned with me being there with him.
Yeah.
So we started to open registration and stuff like that, as Karen and me in your living room, but we were thinking about me being together. And 6 days before, I couldn't travel. So it crossed our minds that like, should we cancel it? And then we decided to still do it. Each of us at home.
Yeah.
And this is how it all started.
Right.
And it was kind of successful. So we were like, okay, maybe there is something to do with it. Like Sky wasn't that much on to do it.
And I can see that because it's really hard to get the reaction. It's really hard to do a live stream class. And I think a lot of us that are used to doing it in person need that, not anything that's positive necessarily. It's as a teacher, you get to see what your students are doing,
Right.
and then make adjustments to how the way you need to
It's that
teach.
instant feedback as a teacher.
Yeah, I think the thing, I think, I don't know. I remember telling him that because we were about to cancel when we were not being together, so working together. But I said to him, I'm like, I think it's the same way of, when we were used to travel at camps, festivals, and your suitcase doesn't, the old word, and you don't have your suitcase, but you have to teach the next day. So it's like saying to people like, I won't teach because I don't have my, it's like, it's your problem. Exactly, it's your, so I told him, we won't be together in the same room, but the students don't care as long as we are together in front of our screen, But
what was really cool is that when you evolved into the next level of that, like beyond just you and Sky, it was you, Sky, Elise, and Frida.
Yeah.
And in 3 different countries, and trying to get the world on board. It was really cool, first off. But I think the other thing that you guys did that I was like, wow, that's a really great idea. And it's, I feel as well, we try to do with Atomic when we did live stream classes, was have somebody watch the class and they can be this sort of like, okay, I saw some people like struggling this way. Remy, can you do one more time? Or like, hey, you're gonna play music, or you're gonna be in the chat and make sure you're asking the questions and making sure people are heard.
Having somebody moderate the class so that
no, for sure.
change camera angle.
I mean, this is it. I think to me, if I have to be really honest, because early on, I reached out to my partner, so Sky or Alice, because for me, I'm like, when this happened, everybody jumped on doing their own thing, and to me, I felt that weird. I felt that wrong in a way. To me, it was like if everybody was trying to do his own weekend workshop at the same time, but the students won't be able to. So I quickly, to me, I really thought about joining forces. This is to me what it's all about. Maybe out of insecurity as well, but I didn't feel like doing something on my own. Yeah. So having doing it with a partner had values for me, about being the 2 of us in this, and as you said, one can teach and then turn his back, the other one can watch, read the chat, address questions. He has a different vibe for sure. And when we were the 4 of us doing the jazz or even the weekend workshop that we have, doing Lindy Hop, when we said, we're going to teach Lindy Hop, that was crazy. I couldn't believe it could work.
Right.
Because jazz, okay, it works, but Lindy Hop together, and we were surprised with Alice because we found the a way of watching people, addressing feedbacks, and it worked. So we were super, super happy about it.
When you did the class with Elise, or the classes with Elise, partnered stuff, did you find that there was a lot of people taking it as partners, or were they still solo, or what was it?
No, we every time try to advertise it as a partner thing, but we don't close the door. So people write us personally, said, I would love to do it, but I don't have a partner. So then we really prevent them. We don't want you to get bored. It will be a partner thing, but we're going to do, of course, things that could be followed as well. For your solo dancing, but this is a Lindy Hop class, and so people either take it to then do it with a partner later when they could see the partner again, or just for their own interest. Or
that's the same thing we found too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing though. With all these live stream classes, it gives you access to people who maybe would never be able to take your class. Maybe they can't go to France, or they can't attend the workshop that you're teaching at here. And one of the things I love so much about the live streams is that it gives you access to people worldwide that you wouldn't otherwise have had access to.
I mean, this for sure. Or you know, like we have our recurrent festivals. So I would say like once a year, I will go to Lindy Fest in Houston. So the Texan crowd will see me once a year. But now you can see me like every week or every month, you know. I think, and that's a different story.
It's totally different, as well as like, I feel like in the beginning too, we felt the same way. It's like, let's just chill and like, let's find out our groove and find out what makes sense for us. But at the same time, I think a lot of people are a little overstimulated as well. Not to say it's super negative and not say it's one side or the other. Like it's more that a lot of people are doing the same thing at the same time. And maybe it's like the same thing with Netflix. You know, it's like there's a ton of things you can watch, whether it be dance wise or just for any entertainment. And sometimes I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I mean, you see me like flip through channels, like flipping through Netflix, and I never end up watching anything.
Actually choosing.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like that could be a thing. So like people out there, and you can speak on this as well, but I feel like people that are out there like feeling that, like it's okay, like turn it off for a little bit. If you can't make a decision, just get away from it for a little bit, go do something else with that energy, and that thing will always still be there. Because the other thing about live stream is you can record it and then watch it later.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think, and this is something that it's important to remind people. It's okay to feel the way you feel. If you want to be involved in something, do it. But you don't have to. And I think this is it. At some point, I questioned myself as well, like especially for the first, like again, we started in August. So from March till August, I didn't do much, and I was like, oh, am I missing a train, or you know? But I didn't feel like it. And eventually, again, I think when I found the way I wanted to do it, then that is stimulated. But doing it for doing it, I think it's never the right answer, the right thing to do.
Yeah, I love hearing you say that, because I feel like every creative type, every dance teacher, every performer that we've spoken to either on the podcast or off has said the same thing. Like it's you don't have to do all the things. It's okay to feel how you feel.
Exactly.
You don't have to feel like you're missing out because you're not jumping on, the latest trend. And I think that, as we move forward and start to come out of the pandemic and whatnot, I hope that people take that to heart and they don't have to feel like they missed out because they didn't participate.
Exactly. And there's also other things in the world that maybe we've missed out on in the past, in the old world, that we are looking at now. I know for us it's TikTok, and for you it's producing things that are like on Instagram now, like full with titles and transitions, and I'm like, holy shit! I finally took my advice.
Look at you on Instagram.
Yeah,
I know. It's funny because somebody said recently that I was the real king, like Instagram real king, and I'm like, really? I came like, I mean, seriously.
It feels good, right? Doesn't it feel awesome to create content like that? Or like, how do you?
It feels good. It feels good, but also, I mean, I love it. I won't lie, I really love it. But look, I released one yesterday, and I realized that it has been like 2 or 3 weeks that I haven't put anything on it. And there is this thing about, like, I've been super against like Instagram or social media or things like that. But I understand, because I realize that it's easy to get trapped into it, or to get like hyped, or to get like it matters. Like it take a huge place in your life when I don't want it to happen. And if I'm really honest with you, I'm on it, and obviously I'm enjoying it, but it's really dangerous. It is dangerous, because like when you have a video that works a little less than the other one, it's easy to really take it personal, or take it seriously.
Totally.
And this is why, like, again, coming back to my daughter, I think she's too young for playing that game. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or we need to find a way. Like, I'm really happy because I found a way to do it the way I want, and I don't feel any stress or the need of doing it a certain way. Like, I found my way, but still, because of it, and this is a luxury problem, because of it being successful. Like we had like I had 2 videos that have more than 4,000 views, and one might be even close to 600,000. Sorry. What?
Don't worry about it. Continue.
What did you say?
Does it humble brag?
Yeah, but no, but the thing is like that is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
And you don't understand how it happens. You don't understand like it goes quick, and then the followers goes like I jumped from 4,000 to almost 10,000 in 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when it goes a little lower, you're like, oh, but why? It's like drug, you know?
Yeah. But you know what though? You have to figure out like this though, like as well. Like, and we had so many conversations, and I'm not trying to change your mind. I have played with it so many times in my head that we would get that anyways. Let's say, for instance, it's not Instagram, it's not social media. Let's just say it's just a performance.
Yeah.
That sometimes hundreds of people are there to watch it, and sometimes it's just like 10 people, and sometimes it feels a little weird. And like that's the exact same thing. You're just quantifying. But
no.
Don't get me wrong. I know it's dangerous. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. It's not about that. And I'm just saying it would have been there already. Like the fear of maybe putting something out and then feeling like, oh, that wasn't appreciated. Oh well, like moving on. I think
but it's the thing is like it's still not real life. This is why I'm really happy, because I feel like what I'm sharing is real. Like I'm sharing like the backstory. The reels are the reels, but like there is a story that go with it. The backstory on my own, from my own perspective, and people are really appreciative of this, which is good. I rather prefer this than having people only like wanted more dancing,
But that's the same thing. That's the same thing we do with the podcast. This podcast is basically social media, right? And the only thing that makes it much more fun for us is one part producing it, like doing all this like getting the sound together and everything, but it's actually hearing from people or hearing from us a little more in depth, but not teaching something necessarily, but still like
your personal experience.
Exactly. And I think that's something that people don't really get the chance to know, that we need to do that, but when we want to do that, we have the ability to do these
for sure,
and maybe get some cool information out of it.
I mean, I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring out like how. I think I'm happy and appreciative again about the fact that it works and people are excited, and like now I have 2 accounts. I created one for the Xperience, so I'm like, woo, let's get real, like
Welcome. I think each one of us have 3 or 4.
Oh yeah.
And this is like jumping from one to another. It's a little disturbing for me, but like again, I like it.
So check this out. This is along the same line. So like you'll find maybe one day one does better than the other. So like we have our personal accounts, and then we have the skate shop. The skate shop has its own. The skate shop has only been around for 6 months or 7 months, and we've been around on it like for 5-6 years. And then the skate shop has already beat us with followers, like way above, and we're like, okay, well that's fine. It's fine.
For sure, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
Because it's beyond you. It's beyond yourself. This is for me. This is, I think, the Xperience will. I mean, I really want that. This is why I separated as well. It's more than me, and it's supposed to be connecting people together around something that is bigger than you.
Exactly, and that's the positive part. So you can put some really good energy out there into multiple communities and bring them together somehow.
Well, you've kind of talked about it a little bit here and there, but tell us what the Xperience is.
Yeah, it's the latest thing that I'm really passionate or stimulated about. And again, this is that comes along the same line about like doing. We did the thing with Sky, then the thing with Jazz at 4. Then eventually Sky and Frida wanted to do something weekly on a regular basis. And I had in mind to do something different. It's about like, what can I do that is me?
Right.
It also has to be, like if I'm honest, it's also connected with all of the racial, social discussion that we had around the world. And I really wanted to do something that represents me, like who I am, 100%. Because as much as I love swing dancing, and I'm grateful about the community and everything that it provides over my life, it doesn't define me. It's not I'm not 100%, like I'm not experiencing vintage on my everyday life, you know what I mean? And because of where I am in my everyday life, I think I am dancing, swing dancing, where I'm attracted by swing because of who I am and where I come from. But there is more, you know? So I really wanted to do something, and it's been like in my mind for a long time. Express Your Swing was along the same lines, like bringing my friends, swing community, but also bringing my hip hop friends and some West Coast swing friends, and having like something about dancing.
Right. Especially was that big festival in person that you had it for like 4 years. And it was exactly that you brought
5 years, I think, right? I don't know.
Communities, hip hop communities, swing dance communities, boogie communities, West Coast.
No, actually, it was only for swing communities.
But I mean, I remember you had boogie woogie classes too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I had boogie woogie come maybe a year. I had like the French Federation coming or something like that. But it was an event really designed for swing dancers, and I remember because I didn't dare reaching out to the other communities because I didn't want swing dancers to be in shock, you know. Right. So it was like a swing dancers event, but I was bringing my other communities, friends, teachers, for swing dancers, and eventually I wanted to attract swing dancers that were open-minded.
Right. And I remember having so many conversations with you about Express Your Swing and how you wanted to like guide it to the next level. And then I remember us having a conversation where we were like, maybe it's done.
I mean, I remember that conversation. You were in Montpellier, right? You were here for my birthday, right?
It was like 4 a.m. in your backyard having
exactly.
Some
No, but I remember exactly because it was you and Mo and me, and actually that particular day, because we were like, okay, we're gonna move to producing it every other year because every year was too much, every other year. But then it was hard to. I think we let the 2 first year pass, and I was like, I have to do one. I don't remember, but I remember you saying to me like. Maybe it's time to just let go because you're going to do something else. Yeah. And I wanted to really hold it and like making the brand become big. So Express Your Swing, I wanted the name to remain, you know. And you were just, at that particular moment, you were the right person or you had the right words to just let it go from my mind. I was actually, I should let it go. And I was okay with it. And I think I was fighting about like, no, I can't let it go, but I don't want to do it anymore.
And I feel like now this is Xperience has been that next level.
This is it. It is the next level because first it's solo only, which for me, it might sound stupid, but it makes a huge difference. Because by definition, if it's only solo, it attracts people that have the desire of moving by themselves. Right. And that we like it or not, we have Lindy Hoppers, too many Lindy Hoppers that come across the dance by holding someone's hands before even knowing how to dance by their own. So that's problematic because this is for me against the spirit of the dance. So when you ask them to do something other than partner dancing, they lost. So the vibe is not the same, you know. So the experience, and again, like meeting people on the road, like my friend Capella, house dancer, Sarah Reich, King Charles, like I had people along the years that I was sure I wanted to do more with them, you know. So first we had that little podcasting, you know, the Swing Channel thing. That was a small trial. And so I reached out to all of my friends, like to Charles, to Sarah, to Capella, to other dancers, and said, hey, I'm having this thing to you because you were my first guest. And I asked them to be a guest. So that was already like letting them know that I wanted to do something with them or to have a collaboration or a connection of any kind. Right. And everybody was really happy to be a part of it. So when I realized that they were really happy to have a sort of connection, then when I was thinking about the experience, I was like, okay, let's try. I'm going to try with the closest one and see how they react. And so the first 2 editions were Capella, Sarah Reich, and myself.
And what dance styles were those?
Capella is house dance, and Sarah Reich is tap dancer, like the phenomenon tap dancer. And myself, I was doing jazz, like swing, and I tried to call it jazz from now on. Because I think like authentic jazz, solo jazz, jazz beats, fuck it, we're doing jazz.
Yeah.
The others are doing something else, and Exactly, they're doing modern jazz, but we're doing jazz. So I did the first two because my goal is to do one every. I have so many artists that I want to bring, that I really want to have one every month. You know, so the first 2 months it was the same lineup because I wanted to make sure. I didn't take that much risk, and this is it. It was the right moment to try because of the pandemic.
Totally.
Because like doing like a crossover events, attracting different communities, like the money to fly in the people, like you don't know if they would have answers. So I was like, okay, maybe I should try it like online, and because I don't have risk. So asking my teacher if they would take the risk with me and to see if it works. And so I wanted to take the first two with the same lineup, make the first two with the same lineup, and then from the third one, I decided to step away from the lineup and contacted people and trying to reach out to people I even don't know. And so far, everybody is hyped. All the artists that I'm contacting are hyped, and I have like that much artists that I think it's something that will continue even after the pandemic because it's important.
Yeah. What is your main audience? What type of dancers have been taking the classes?
It's mainly the swing. I mean, the swing community is the biggest one, I would say. And this every edition would have jazz or tap, like tap articulated for swing dancers, because I think, again, I won't have the ambition of doing a hip hop event when I'm not part of the community myself, you know. So to me, the goal is to bring swing dancing alongside the modern street dances.
Yeah.
So every edition has to, because it's my event, every edition needs to have that connection with jazz, because even if tomorrow, I don't know, this is not what I want, but even if I only have modern street dancers, I want them to be connected with what we do, because this is the roots of a lot of things.
You know, it's really funny because like the idea of dancers just being dancers, like trying to learn and get as much information as they can, is something that's very known here, at least in Southern California, or maybe in New York as well, where the epicenters of like dance and art form and theater really happen. Like a couple weeks ago, we got to work with commercial dancers again, and they just soaked it up. They wanted to learn more. They honestly wanted to do that. I mean, one, probably because they can put it on their resume and they can learn it again later and say that they know a little bit of it. But two, also because they're dancers first and foremost, and they enjoy movement and learning something different, completely out of what they normally do. But they can bring all their knowledge into this new version of them. And I feel like a lot of dancers, swing dancers, can really benefit off of that. And yeah, we're all going to look like idiots just for a little bit, but you're going to come out of that class learning something so brand new and so good for your body that it'll only make you better in the long run.
That's something that Mikey and I have talked about a lot over the past few years specifically, is that I've always had this feeling that Lindy Hoppers in general were so close-minded to anything outside of Lindy Hop. And I love that you're doing this event that's bringing in things that are related in a way, you know, to Lindy Hop, but also getting people to dance solo and being comfortable dancing solo before they ever even connect with it.
For sure.
I feel like as teachers, you know, going forward, coming out of pandemic, that's something that maybe we should consider as we move forward. You know, let's really start with the foundation of being.
That was the way I was teaching locally, and I was teaching my teachers to approach for beginners. Approach it from the solo. We actually teach more solo classes than partner classes back home because of the fact that I want people to come from that door and then eventually hold somebody else's hand. But I think like also the thing, because there is something in common, obviously from the teachers, but also because I said mainly swing dancers are the audience, and I'm really grateful about it. But from the last edition, the dancers are starting to come in from the other communities, so Chicago footwork or house or hip hop. And I think there is something that is in common that we don't really have in the swing community, is treating it as a lifestyle. This is not just a hobby. This is not just like that fun thing that you do on the side. This is a lifestyle. Not you don't have to practice it every day, but dancing, moving, listening to music is a lifestyle, you know.
Right.
And I think this is something that we lack a little bit compared to the modern street dance scenes. So I think being exposed to it, and I love it because we also have like classes. And the goal of the event is to have like students taking there is 3 dances per edition, and they have to take classes on the 3. You can't, because sometimes people try, I want to take King Charles class. Yeah, but then go and take his class somewhere else, you know. If you come here, is to take the others as well, the Afro and the jazz, because that's the goal of the thing, to be open-minded, to try out other things. And then we have a party, because I came back to DJing as well. So I'm DJing a party for people to dance, to express without thinking, and that's surprisingly successful. I didn't know it could have been successful that way. And then we have a talk, and the talk is gold. Like, so far the talks are for me maybe the best part of the weekend, because it's about like talking about our own stories, listening to the artist's story, the way they approach this, exactly. Why they do what they do, and that's gold, because it's so uplifting and motivating, like inspiring.
Exactly. And it's great to hear like different points of views on the same subject. And they're not to say one is diminished. It's actually one builds off the other usually, and then sometimes people's minds change and they evolve into these new ideas. And that's actually, like, not to completely go off this subject, but like that's what I miss the most. And I said this to you the other day. I miss the most, and not the idea. And I said it to you too. The idea of talking with other artists, like other Lindy Hop professionals, that I always gained off of. Like just right now, when we were talking about teaching beginners and maybe teaching them solo, like I was like, yeah, that is. And I think that sparked something in you too. We're like, oh yeah, like, and we used to do this idea, and like, so like it gets my mind moving again in sort of this really amazing way that I
for sure.
And we get it through this, yeah, for sure. And you get it through the experience, through doing those talks. But nothing will ever beat that in person, and I can't wait for that in person moment.
For sure.
Chatting about all the things we learned and all the things we missed and all the things we want to do for the future again.
For sure. But I mean, for sure. And I think like this is the thing that got me passionate, is because now that I see, like, it's not successful the way I thought it could be, because I think it's still too early for people to understand. Right. But it's successful enough. It works. We make money with it, which is good. But I think it could be big, right? And so we are warming up or experimenting online. But my goal is to bring it on the road. Like I really want to have the experience traveling the world with my artists, because the goal is to also, like, bring a party. And you know how much I love to party, but not just party, like bring the social aspect of the dance, like the clubbing experience.
Yeah, that's something
in my dream.
That's something you never went to, right? The Floor in LA.
No, exactly. I never went
about it, right?
Oh, you would have.
Yeah,
that was like not exactly what you're talking about, but it's the closest that I've ever come to that idea. Where you have like tango dancers and ballroom dancers and salsa and hip hop and poppers, and then like random people, and then swing dancers, and then oh my gosh, it was just amazing.
For those of you that don't know, the Floor was a nightclub in LA, where it was a culmination of different dance styles, different musicians. There would be a jam band playing, and other musicians would just jump up on stage. The dance styles would change throughout the night. It was just an amazing.
And they were just ciphers, jam circles, however you want to call them, like over and over again.
Night.
And then that's where I went, like something like Sarah for the first time.
Right.
And she'd bring out the board right in the middle of the circle and just go to town and just like murder everybody. And then like B-boy Cloud would come out of like the stage and like jump into the middle and like do his thing. And then like a tango dancer would come out and do a thing. And then I'd go out there and we'd swing out for a little bit, and then we'd leave. And it was like a movie set.
Yeah, but this is it, I think.
And it was a dream.
But this is it. To me, that's a dream that I really want to bring to reality, because this is what moves me, like being moved by, and it's about the energy. It's and as much as you can, yeah, you can work and you can improve your technique, but the mindset and the energy is something that you need to experience and you need to get stimulated about. You can't learn, you can't work on it. You just need to be in it. You know what I mean?
The lifestyle. You're in it.
This is it. This is it. So this is, to me, this is what and bigger than also like the dance is of course what attract us, but it's about the music. So in my dream again, I want to bring like big DJs like to the thing and musicians and like having a real conversation. And the classes is just the extra. The goal is to like don't miss the party, you know?
Yeah. And speaking of DJing, you've been DJing a lot more live stream stuff, which is awesome. Because I remember back in the day, like something like Harangue, where you would DJ and they'd hate it, but everyone would love it. Remember those days? Like I'm like watching you live stream DJ from the other side of the world now, and I'm like, oh, I just reminisce and like wish for those old days.
Mikey's walking around with his phone.
Yeah,
like this. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, Remy's DJing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
We're at the coffee shop getting ready to go to work, and you're DJing on a Thursday, which is the day we go to work. And I'm like, I catch the last hour, you know, and we're in the coffee shop, and I'm playing you super loud.
That's cool. That's cool. It's great, man. Like, and yeah, I've been like again to put it in context. I've been seriously DJing. I think like 15 years ago or 10 years ago, I don't know. And I haven't done anything, and it rang and stuff where like it wasn't even DJing. Like I had an iPad and I could like mix tracks together, but on an iPad. So it's not the same. And since the pandemic, I really bought like the controller and exactly catch up with technology. And so yeah, Manu Smith is the one. Like I reached out to him once, and I was like, I'm thinking about doing this. I know you're a little bit geeky, so maybe you can help me out. And the next thing I know, it's like he really pushed me to do it, because I could have postponed every week. Like, oh no, I should do it next week because I'm not ready. And he was like, no, on a Tuesday we had like a sound check, and I was supposed to do the live stream on Thursday. And I was like, oh, maybe I need more time to promote it and stuff. He's like, no, you know what? You go live on Thursday, and we talk on Friday. and yeah, like, and we all need that. We need that little kick, you know?
Yeah, of course.
But then I was thinking about it the other day, and I don't know if I don't want it to, like, even after, this is it, like after the pandemic, when we're gonna get back to the life we knew, I think I want to keep it that way, because like, look, I have my friends from all over the world in front of me. This won't be able to happen. Even if I go and DJ in LA, I won't have my friend like Mike Jagger in Barbados, like a teen in London, my sister, and then there is Tasha in New York. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same. And to me, this is why I'm doing it on Zoom, because of course everybody's like, you should go to Twitch, you're gonna make money, blah, blah, blah. I mean, on Zoom, I see people getting down, you know? And this is what it's all about. It's about having a conversation. Yeah. So I think it's the best setup for me, because it's about doing it for my friends.
Totally.
You know?
And I remember way back in the day when you were like always talking about DJing and whatnot and not. And like, I never saw you really DJ except for that one time. You remember the first time we met? We were in Rock That Swing, and you were DJing.
I've heard this story.
You were DJing, and I was like egging you on. I was like, whatever, that's an iPad. Whatever.
Did I DJ there? I don't remember. I remember the talk that we had.
I have a picture of you like this, huddled over your iPad, and it was on your lap, and you're just like bent over. You had the big jacket because it's cold as fuck in Germany, and then it's like in February, and you're like, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time, because like it was like you, me, and Jagger, and like I think Juan was there, and there was like a couple other people, and we were just all hanging out after the dance.
Yeah.
You started playing music, and I was like, whatever. Who's this bitch?
I mean, yeah.
But here's the thing. From that like weird interaction that we had this like long talk at that same time, and that was always so funny to me, because we're still like that.
Oh, for sure.
We're still
I mean, I think we didn't because it wasn't a talk, it was more of a debate, right? It was more of a, even we could say a fight without fighting, but it was a debate.
Fighting. It wasn't fighting. It was
a debate.
Debate is really like, talk is better for me, because like we weren't trying to prove some things to one another. We were saying, here's what I know, and you were saying, what you know. And do you remember the topic?
I don't. The thing. Do you?
Yeah, it was about the legends of the dance and why they're important.
Okay, maybe then.
And why people tend to copy. Yeah, why people tend to copy them so much. And it was like, I think it was short after, or maybe before. I can't remember if you did the video with Ryan Francois, the slow
club. Yeah, two cousins.
I can't remember if it was before or after that, but I think it was around the same.
I think it was after.
Yeah, and why it was important, and we talked about like specific people, legends of jazz dancing, and sometimes like it's hard to see how they were back in the day, but also like we shouldn't glorify it, but also at the same time we should take and understand what they gave to us, because that's what we still do today. But then there's some people who stop right there, and there's some people who
this is it. I think like I can honestly say that I came a long way. Like I was really close-minded in that. Like I had a strong opinion on it before, but I understand it now.
You're welcome.
And the thing is, like, I remember, to me, and this is, I mean, it's surely not to put myself, I'm not better than anybody else, but like I got attracted by the energy of that dance and kind of like understanding where it comes from, you know, and this reaction to music and being completely aware that most of the modern thing come from like jazz and the evolution of it, you know. Like jazz music has really inspired the world, that we like it or not. So the connection of it is like, to me, Boogie Woogie was the bridge, you know, with my everyday life and swing dancing. For sure, it makes sense, you know. And then when I stepped in the scene, I think, and up until not long ago, I was really against that fetishism that we have with the elders or the reproduction, and you know, like to me, this is not what attracts me. Like I wanna. To me, this is a vivid. Even it's a vivid art form, and we can't like put it in the box and just look it from a distance, you know. And this is I think where my angriness about it came from. And it's funny because
But it's just like that perception of it is still driven you still today. Like, it's not that it was wrong. It was definitely like in this area that I remember that I was like, here's how I feel about it. Like I felt like this and this and this, and I think over time, I don't think I ever changed your mind necessarily, but I think I affected you for a long time. That
man, you have affected my life in a lot of different, different compartments that you would even not imagine. But now the funny thing is that recently. And I give the credit to Ryan because I was talking with Ryan Francois, and we talked about it again because he was there from since day one for me, and he heard me. Like he has a connection with the elders that I don't, and he knows like how I was with you, I was with him, and I remember him trying to temper me and say like, but you need to understand this or that, and no, bullshit. But it's not about it's not about the elders. It's about how the community respond to them, you know, and I found it fake or overreact. You know, I don't know. There is something that I found it weird. Yeah. And Ryan, like heard me saying that a lot. And recently, he said, because we talked again about it, and he said something. He actually said like, Remy, you should write it down because I won't remember. He said, the thing is like, it's not about. Oh man, how did he say that now?
Should have wrote it down.
Yeah. It's not about the history. The problem is not the history. It's about what we're doing with it. Yeah. And I think this is where we have a problem to me in the swing scene. Again, like the history and honoring the history, and it's really, really important. But how and what we do with it is to me and it still do. It still is at this day. Like I think I was a little too close-minded back then, but I'm still not really sure that most of the time we do it in a way that really gives justice to the people. And again, coming back to the recent discussion, we realized that surely not, So there is that thing that was kind of annoying me since day one. That is actually, that get proved to be real. Yeah. Because now we try to do it differently,
But that's sort of like the idea that you were saying before, vivid. I translated that sort of in the sense of like it's a living art form, and it needs to still evolve. It needs to still breathe. It needs to grow and change, just like any human does. And I feel like part of that is that sense. So like knowing that you've come from a past of your own self, like coming from one point, coming to now, hopefully you've learned more. And I think it's a very, very apparent in your case, in a lot of our cases where we've discovered, especially over the summer, where we discovered that like actually we can do better and we can move forward in this other way. And you hit it really well, like an idea that Lindy Hop swing dancing can be a lifestyle, and it's something that you take on and take forward.
This is it. Yeah. This is funny because I got to reflect to it as well, because at some point I was like you know that I felt like an imposter for a long time with this. And
I mean,
we
honestly,
all struggle.
And it's funny because I realized recently again that this is why this year have been really important, because of the reflection that it gave us all, And I realized that at the end, and throughout the discussions as well that I've been invited to, and I realized that I might not listen to jazz music every day. I might not know the history of every single dancers, or I might not know the names of everybody. I might not practice my dance every day, but I realize that I practice the lifestyle every day. Practicing the lifestyle doesn't mean to me, because this is just my take on it, and everybody is free to have his own. To me, it's not about being a jazz maniac. To me, the lifestyle is, again, this connection to music and movements, and to when you hold a partner, you can't, like, unless you do salsa or tango, but you don't do, or two steps in the hip hop world. But like Lindy Hop is where everything starts, everything, And when I'm exposed to house dance, and when I'm exposed to Chicago footwork, I realize that they have, like, the foundation comes to what we do. So I understand my attraction to what I do. But again, like practicing like experiencing the lifestyle, experiencing the energy, the spirit, is an everyday life thing. So listening to music, thinking rhythm, playing rhythm, and this is to me what it's about. Obviously, I can only do better by digging more into swing history, but also like what makes me who I am. It's about the other thing, And so this is why the experience. It's about like contributing. There is people like that do organization like CVFC or like the Black Lindy Hoppers Found. To me, the experience has that dimension about like making or being the change we want to be, we want to see. You know what I mean? So it's really, to me, this is what it's about. This is my. I'm not an activist in that sense. I'm not the one like in the front being like blah 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 blah. Like Marie and Dia is, and the world need Marie and Dia, Mm-hmm. But I know, like, I don't feel comfortable being this.
Right.
But the experience is my way of contributing to moving forward, or giving justice to our art form in a way.
No, it's so interesting to hear you talk about that, because I feel like, again, this makes me feel a certain way, because I've missed it. I've missed these conversations with us, and in general with all of our peers, Lindy Hop professionals especially, talking this way, candidly, like completely honestly, as best we can. And it reminds me of this movie that I just saw, the One Night in Miami.
It's perfect.
And for everybody who doesn't know, Remy Kouakou Kouame's favorite movie of all time.
No, come on.
He loves the cup song.
It's actually not about the cup song. This is it. It has much more than the cup song. What I love is that
song, and you know it, and it's your favorite movie.
You know what? The favorite thing.
That one sentence. I know so much more now.
My favorite part of the movie is the battle in the pool. When they have the a cappella battle, I'm like, wow, that is so creative.
Literally never seen the movie because you told me. I was like, nope, it never happened. Never happened.
Oh, we're totally gonna watch it.
But I mean, it's what I was. Yeah.
I get
Okay.
you.
Okay. And no, it just came out. Okay.
I'm
So
gonna move to Barbados.
here's the thing. There's a movie. There's a movie called One Night in Miami, and Regina
One night in
King,
Miami.
Regina King directed it, and it's based off a play. And it's Malcolm X, Jerry Brown, who's a football player, amazing football player, Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay, right before he became champion, and Sam Cooke. And it's 4 black men talking about
In the movie?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
It's so good. It's on Amazon Prime. It's up for a ton of Oscars and stuff, and I think
Wow, I'm gonna watch it after this conversation.
so good. And it's a play where the 4 of them just talk about how they can possibly change the world.
Wow.
And like just inspire, and it's just up and down. It's so crazy. And Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is very similar, but it's only just of jazz musicians, really. But this is in a different context, but the same subject. And I think it's in general, like as a man, I felt that. Like I felt like 4 men yelling at each other, crying with each other, and speaking to each other honestly and candidly. That's the parts that I miss, and like all this stuff talking about. It's like maybe we don't have to do it the same, but if we know we're all talking about the same subject and the same thing, we want the same things, maybe we can get there together better. And I think in general, like that's the move together feeling, and Lindy Hop and lifestyle feeling is that if we look at the same goal, as in like just to better people around us and better ourselves, like maybe then we can really move together. So it's something that I've taken to heart a lot of times, and especially watching that movie and doing a black dance that I have to take into context all the time. And I think that's my version of it, especially now, is how I think of it and feel it every day. That's how I express my lifestyle, you know. Of it.
Oh, that's cool.
That being said, we're going to go into the last little bit of this podcast. We have 2 questions for you, and we're going to start doing it for pretty much everybody. We started with our first yes, thank you.
Are they the same question?
I think I drank too much.
I think so.
Are they the same question?
Yeah, the same questions.
The same
Great.
question.
I haven't seen the podcast yet.
Okay, so what is one thing that you hope that stays after all of this COVID stuff that we've been through in the past year, all of the lifestyle changes that we've made, how you've had to pivot, how the worldwide dance scene has had to pivot? What do you hope we take to heart and that we keep for the future?
You mean in the artistic, it's an artistic question?
In whatever way moves you.
When you say we, it's like the word, like, because like the thing, like on a personal level, on a personal level, the thing, and it's funny because I'm questioning it already. It's, I don't know if I would be ready to, like, I got to spend a lot of time with my daughter, and I think it would be really hard to go back on the road with the same frequency. I'm really grateful that I've been limiting my travels already the years before the pandemic. But now that I'm home and even teaching locally, you know, every night and stuff, I don't know if I'm ready to do it. I think that the time that I have with her is priceless, and I don't want to trade that. I don't know. This is the thing that I would try to make sure. I don't know. This is on a personal level. This is something that I would try to find a good balance. Yeah, but this is a personal thing. On the bigger scale of the word, I don't know. I would say to not take for granted, like stop taking for granted even stupid things. But like we realize that nothing is for granted, and our life can stop from a day to another, literally or figuratively. And I think if we start to, I'm sure that if we stop taking things for granted, the world would be a better place. It sounds cliche, but like even like prejudice and stuff like that, like everything that we have, like we take for granted something. If we deconstruct all of this, we would be much more in the moment and realize how stupid we can be and how like small the life can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's one more.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, this is your question.
Oh, okay, fine.
Mikey is very, very proud of this question. So
no,
I make him ask because
So it's the last
so
one.
proud of it.
It's very big. It's very big, and you can approach it however you like. What is your life philosophy?
I don't know if I even have one. My life philosophy. I mean, again, this is something I'm speaking like as I am right now, you know, and I know that, yeah, like being a dad has affected me a lot. And one of my philosophy, and I mean, I have this in mind because this is something that I refer often and also talk to my wife. It's like being, like, if I say to my daughter something, I need to actually do it myself, you know. So I could say, like, on the bigger scale, being the change you want to see. Like, you know, you need to be it yourself. I can't say to my daughter, like, stop your screening times if she sees me on the phone. So and I'm often on the phone, so this is why it's hard for me to, you know, so I'm like being aligned to what you say. Like, you need to do what you say. And it's not easy every day for sure, but I think that would be my philosophy, being the model, or being like, yeah, being the change. There is a saying, right? Being the change of what you want to see, or something like that.
Want to see in the world. I think
Because this is it. I think this is the philosophy. Because, like, when you are aligned with what, because sometimes we have this little, how do you say, in French, it's, now that I'm twisting the two.
La vie en rose?
No. Yeah, no, that was bad, man. What did you say the other day? You sent me something about like champagne or something, like alcohol.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah. It was, how do you say some sort of liqueur? Yeah, whatever.
That was terrible.
I know.
Irony. There is an irony. I think we all human beings have this irony of like wishing something but not doing anything to have it, you know, like,
Absolutely.
you know, and I'm like, yeah, but like, if this is what you think, if you think about it, you need to do things to get it, or to get there. Or I wish I could have more money, but what do you do to, like, you know, do you do more? Or like, what do you create in that way? Or I wish that I could go in vacation. Like, I think the irony in the human being species is something that got me tired a little bit. So I'm trying to be a better person every day and applying it to me. So my philosophy is this, like being, like, do what you say, or be what you want to, like, you know, being aligned.
It's perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Remy, I love this conversation so much. It reminds me of what I love about you is that you'd be like, let's go outside. We're going to have a talk. You're so willing to be that person. It's like, what's going on with you? We're going to have this conversation.
Yeah, I love it.
I love that about you. And I love the connection that you two have. And this reminds me of being in a hotel room after a contest at ILHC or whatever, and just sitting around and talking like this and having a drink and having that weird sausage that you guys eat. And
come on, Nikki, don't touch that.
It's not weird. You know, she knows it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's actually really, really good. How do you say it? What's it called?
Saucisson.
Saucisson, exactly.
But this is so nostalgic. It feels like that, even though we're across the world from each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're speaking through technology. It's still so nostalgic, and it feels like you're right here. You're in the room.
Yeah. But this is what this is the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And to be honest, this is the thing that I miss the most. Like, as much as I love everything I can do here, and I gain a lot. But yeah, as I said, like being with friends. And as you said, Mikey, being stimulated, because this is it. When you are surrounded by artistic persons, you get the stimulation, and for sure, this is what I miss the most.
And is that the last time we had this was actually a New Year's, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember.
It was a New Year's, and we were drinking. You were already in the New Year's.
You know what? The thing is, like, so you need to put things in context, guys. I'm in France, here in LA. You called me or I called you, I don't know, but I called you. It was 5 or 6 a.m. back home. Everybody was about to go to bed because we partied, and I went outside. We talked for an hour, 45 minutes, an hour and a half. I don't know, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I don't know. I went to bed the next day. True story. I said to my wife, I said like, oh, I had Mikey and Nikki on the phone yesterday. I said, she was like, when did you go to bed? 7 or something like that, when everybody went to bed at 5, right? She said, but what did you do? Oh, I was on the phone with Mikey and Nikki. Oh, but you spoke for that long? You were not tired? I said, like, actually, I don't know what we talked about, but I feel good about it. Which is a good, when you feel good, you feel like you spend 2 hours talking and being connected with someone that is important, but I have no clue what we talked about at all.
I think
I remember it all.
I think we talked about like social media, maybe.
I think we did a little bit.
Like you're like, I want to do Instagram. I was like, yeah, you should do Instagram. And the whole time, it was so funny. It was so funny. The whole time it was you had the camera really low, so I was looking up towards you, and I was like, okay, this is fine. We're all fucked up right now. It's okay.
I mean, I was wasted. And again, that feeling the next day of saying like, I don't know what we talked about, but I feel good about it. To me, this is what it's all about. It's like, I don't care actually about which topic we talked about, but I know we've been passionate. I know it was interesting. Next time, we'll catch up with the subject another time.
Next time,
Well,
you'll have to come out here and
Well,
hang out.
Yes.
We'll party on some rooftops.
the experience. We bring the experience to LA.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, Remy, for joining us. This has been such a blast, and everything Nikki said, everything you said, thank you so much. And we'll put the link for the experience down below. Is that this weekend?
No, the experience is on the 3rd and 4th of April. This edition is gonna be special, man. I'm gonna have the pioneers, like some of the pioneers of hip hop and house, like Buddha Stretch and Khalif and Ryan for jazz. It's gonna be
so good. We're gonna put the link down below.
But how else can people find out about the experience?
So there is an event page on Facebook, the Experience Volume 4, and then there is the profile on Instagram. If you follow me, if you have like if you like either on my own name, you get the ID, you get the information, or the event page on Facebook or the profile page on Instagram.
Well, thank you guys so much. Everybody listening at home, you can find Remy on Instagram and Facebook sometimes, mostly Instagram now, if we look at the king of reels over here. You can catch us on anything. You listen to podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also YouTube for the video version. That is also going to be a little funny as I learned to do it myself. And please rate and review us however you see fit. It also helps us with the algorithm. It also helps us to be seen by everyone.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. I am 5 people away from my swipe button.
Oh, nice. Go follow Remy right now.
Oh my God. Like, absolutely. Everything we've talked about. Like, I don't care. I don't want to look at the numbers. No, nothing. But I'm 5 people away.
Hey, this freaking swipe button, right? It makes everything easy. Seriously, link in bio, like swipe up, man.
Yeah, swipe up. Soon you could see his link tree where you can go to his LinkedIn and you buy his shirts and then sign up for the experience.
Yeah, swipe up. So yeah, 5 people. By tonight I might have it.
Yeah. And catch Remy. I know this podcast might come out after you do it, but tomorrow you'll be having your live DJ set. We'll be listening.
Yeah, I try to do one every 2 weeks.
Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody so much for listening. The next time we'll come up is in 2 weeks as well, when Remy's gonna have his other DJ set. So thank you everybody. That's it. Bye.